You know, these are some pretty strong words from ICE to the sanctuary cities. And quite honestly, I've got to say about time. I don't believe it's a good road to go down when we have this federal law and then the state looks at the federal law and says, no, I don't think so. And basically gives a raspberry and says, no. Let's read this. We'll kind of discuss it as we go. Very strong words. I kind of actually like this quote. Show up to court with a toothbrush, ICE says sanctuary cities officials should expect jail time if they ignore subpoenas. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is prepared to go to court with two sanctuary cities, Denver and New York City, if they fail to provide personal information on illegal immigrants with criminal records released in each city instead of being transferred to ICE. And it's been something that they've been doing for a while. They have this sanctuary city. You come here illegally. Even if you commit a crime, they don't deport you. They don't report it to ICE. They just release you back onto the street. Now, I'm not saying all, so don't even get that in your head. I'm just saying it happens. Illegal immigrants, on occasion, some of them, not all of them, vast majority of them are good people, but there are the minority that are going to commit crime and commit more crime and commit more crime, and some of them are pretty heinous crimes. And here we have sanctuary cities saying, no, we're not going to deport them. But in the same breath, you're going to complain about overcrowding in the jails. You're going to complain about crime. You're going to complain about graffiti. You're going to complain about this and that and this and that. But yet here you have a criminal who commits a crime, goes to jail, and rather than letting ICE know to say, hey, get him out of the country, take him back to his country of origin, we don't need him, he commits crime, you release him back out onto the street. And not all of them will commit crime again, but there are a few that will. And those few that will, we should get them out of the country. I mean, that's like, you're going to overcrowd the prison population. You're using taxpayer money, revolving door, arresting these people. And again, it's not all. I know. I live in a very, very heavily immigrant place. I mean, there's a lot of illegal immigrants here. I have a few friends that are illegal immigrants. Okay, not all of them are bad. No, the vast majority are good. But there are those ones that do this. We have to face reality here. We live on planet Earth, which is reality. Last time I checked, of course, if we ask Channel 13 News, KRQE 13, they would say that I think we live in the Matrix, referencing them chopping one of my videos up to use in their morning news broadcast and made me look like a quack. But that's a different story. Let's continue reading this. We expect them to comply with subpoenas for the information, said acting ICE Director Matt Albence at a press conference in Washington on Thursday. If they don't comply, we'll be working with DOJ to go to district court to force them to comply with the requirements, Albence said, noting the rule in the U.S. Code that he said justified the move. The individuals that fail to comply can be held in contempt, he said. They can show up to court with a toothbrush because they might not be going home that night, because they could be jailed for failure to comply with a lawful order from a judge. That's the route we're going. ICE looks at local arrests to see if a person is illegally in the country. So stop right there. So yes, they have done raids before. They've done raids on chicken factories. They've done raids at a auto mechanic shop. Just so happened that auto mechanic shop was transporting auto parts that were stolen from vehicles across the border and reassembling them and bringing the reassembled vehicles back across the border and selling them again. But hey, everybody forgets that part. But in general, ICE only gets involved when there's a criminal, arrest. So why is it that you're going to say, well, our prisons are overcrowded, our crime rate is too high, this and that and this and that, but yet you have an opportunity to at least get a few criminals off the streets, right? And the other part is, aren't these criminals that are illegal immigrants making the good, hardworking illegal immigrants look bad? So wouldn't they want them out of the country as well? I mean, I know I would. If I was an illegal immigrant in the country and I was trying to make it by and I was trying to be like, hey, look, we're not all bad, this and that and this and that, and then someone from my country does something stupid, I'd be like, no, get him out of here. He doesn't deserve to be here. People who want to try, people who want to make their lives better deserve to be here. But if he or she appears to be an illegal immigrant, the officer can request that the local law enforcement agency notify ICE before that person's release. so that ICE can take custody and begin deportation proceedings. Sanctuary zones release illegal immigrants, including those with criminal convictions, after they make bail or serve jail time without notifying ICE. I don't think that that's proper. If they've been arrested for a crime and they're in there and they shouldn't be here legally, they've proven then that, well, maybe perhaps they don't deserve to be here. It should be something that is a privilege. I mean, really, honestly, it is. People are fighting to get into this country, so why do we let people who come into the country and commit crime remain here when we have an avenue to get them out of the country and help everybody? It'll help relieve the prison population a little bit. It will send a message, hey, don't commit crime. Don't commit crime. Many layers. But your opinions. Give me some engagement. Let me know what you think. Albence said the subpoenas were a last resort to force sanctuary cities to help federal officers find people at their homes and jobs if local jails will not turn them over while in secure settings. ICE focuses most of its effort going after people illegally in the country charged or convicted of criminal offenses. Now, normally what ICE wants is a good thing. They're in a secure environment. They're already arrested. You call ICE. ICE shows up. They keep them in a secured environment. Now you're creating a situation where now ICE is being forced to get their home address and go to their home address, thereby making it a little bit more possibility of being a dangerous situation. So there's another aspect to it as well. It's a lot safer to do this in a secured environment. Hopefully, when some of these other jurisdictions that don't want to cooperate see that we're taking this seriously, maybe they'll come around and try to help us, help their own communities, said Albence, who was tapped to lead the 20,000-person agency 6 months ago. He did not answer if Denver or New York would face retaliation from the federal government if they do not honor the subpoenas. And see, you can't be a sanctuary city and then at the same time ask the federal government for help. Hey, help us over here, and we're going to say no to your laws over here, and we're going to do everything we can to hamstring you on that over here. But yes, please still come help us with this money on this and that and this and that. That doesn't make sense to me either. Last year, ICE asked New York City to notify it before releasing 7,500 illegal immigrants so that it could transfer each person into custody. None of the requests were honored. Now, out of those 7,500, it would be interesting to find out how many of those had actually recommitted more crime. And then could you go to New York City and say, well, New York City, because you released them, the crime that those individuals committed is on you, New York City. That would be an interesting one. For the first time ever last week, ICE subpoenaed a local law enforcement office, sending 4 requests to the New York Department of Corrections and 4 to the Denver Justice Department. The subpoenas asked for phone number, home address, type of vehicle, employer, and more information that can help ICE's enforcement and removal operations officers go into the person's community and try to make an arrest, which makes it all the more dangerous as well. Rather than doing it in a secure environment, now they've got to go to the community. Things could possibly happen. Makes it more likely happening in the community than it does in a jail. That's for darn sure. Albence said that sanctuary cities force ICE to squander resources running around trying to find people, and that localities are forced to waste manpower rearresting criminals who could have been deported. How much time, and I agree with this, how much time could NYPD have dedicated to doing other functions instead of continually arresting people that are here illegally, have no lawful right to be here, and are committing further crimes, he asked. Our goal is to find them before they commit further crimes, right? We're actually able to prevent crimes if we can get these people off the streets. And I agree with that. And again, I have some conservative and some liberal ideas. A liberal idea I have on this is, okay, if someone is here illegally and it's discovered they're here illegally, but they have lived here for a period of time and they've shown that, hey, they're working, they're doing this, they're doing that, I would say, hey, you know what, let's expedite them into being a taxpayer, right? Let's expedite them into being a legal citizen. But if someone is here and they're here illegally and they're committing crime and they get released and they commit more crime, they get released and they commit more crime, they get released and they commit more crime and they get released, you get the idea. Why not deport them to their country of origin and say, look, you squandered the privilege of being here, the privilege of having the opportunity to make something better of yourself. You came here for that, or did you come here to commit crime? Because believe it or not, people do come here specifically to commit crime. Welcome to reality. A little bit of conservative, a little bit of liberal. Life is not uber conservative. Life is not uber liberal. It's somewhere in the frickin' middle. Anyways, that's what I got for you. I will see you guys on the next one.